From sticky peanut butter to popes that penetrate your comfort zone, today we'll delve deep into the wacky world of phobias. Not just any phobias, but the quirkiest, most bizarre fears you've probably never heard of. Strap in because this is about to get ducking strange. Nomophobia, fear of being without mobile phone coverage. Nomophobia is not just a trendy term thrown around. The name itself is derived from no mobile phone phobia. It encapsulates the anxiety and discomfort one feels at the very thought of being without their mobile phone, or even just its signal. Imagine the sheer panic when you pat your pockets and your phone isn't there. Or picture this. You're in an unfamiliar place and suddenly, your phone reads no service. Modern research indicates that this is more than just a casual fear. Our increasing reliance on smartphones for not just communication, but also for navigation, entertainment, shopping, and more, has entwined them deeply within our daily routines. A survey from 2019 found that an average American checks their phone 96 times a day. That's once every 10 minutes. The downside? This dependence could lead to heightened stress levels when we're without our devices. Symptoms of nomophobia can range from general discomfort and restlessness to more severe manifestations like panic attacks, dizziness, and even shortness of breath. It's a testament to how technology shapes our emotional and psychological landscape. We're ranking nomophobia on the C tier. While many might chuckle or dismiss it, the gravity of nomophobia in today's digital age cannot be understated. It's a reflection of our times, making it a little more relatable than some of our upcoming oddities. Neophobia, the fear of new thing. Now imagine going into a new restaurant and feeling an overwhelming sense of dread at the idea of trying a dish you've never had before. Or how about that unease when downloading a new app update, fearing how it might change your user experience? That's neophobia for you, the fear of new things or experiences. Historically, this fear made sense. Our ancestors had to be cautious about new foods or environments that might have been harmful. But in today's ever-changing world, this phobia can pose challenges. Embracing change can be hard for everyone, but for someone with neophobia, it's a whole different ballgame. And while it might sound a bit broad, the impact of this phobia in our dynamic, constantly evolving society is profound. We're placing it on D on our tier list because as humans, we're naturally resistant to change. This one's a touch more universal. Hylophobia, the fear of forests. Forests are peaceful, right? The rustling leaves, chirping birds, and the soft earth beneath your feet. But for some, this serene setting turns sinister. Enter hylophobia, the fear of forests. At its core, this phobia might stem from the age-old fear of the unknown. Forests are dense, and what lies deep within can be a mystery. Think of all the fairy tales with dark woods or haunted forests. While most of us relish a woodland walk or camping trip, those with hylophobia would likely avoid these green expanses at all costs. But when you think about it, in ancient times, forests were places filled with predators and dangers. So maybe, just maybe, there's a primal instinct here? As for our quirky scale, this one's taking a spot at B. I mean, avoiding a whole forest, that's a sizable chunk of nature. Xanthophobia, fear of the color yellow. Colors bring life to our world. But can you imagine being afraid of one? Meet xanthophobia, a rather vibrant fear of the color yellow. Whether it's bright sunflowers, buzzing bees, or even just a humble banana, this color can send shivers down a xanthophobe's spine. The causes? Well, they vary. Some believe it might be tied to a traumatic event associated with the color, while for others it's just an inexplicable dread. But consider this. Yellow is often used as a warning color in nature. Think of venomous creatures or warning signs. Could this be a factor? It's a thought. Given how widespread the color yellow is in our daily lives, we're placing this on A in our quirkiness tier list. After all, there's no escaping the sunny skies. Hippopotamonstrosis the fear of long words. Now that's a mouthful, hippopotamonstrosis. Ironic, isn't it, that the term for the fear of long words is, well, exceptionally long? Those with this phobia would shudder at words like anti-disestablishmentarianism or flaki nosini hilipilification. Now you might wonder, how does one even develop this fear? For some, it's the fear of mispronouncing or misunderstanding the word, leading to potential embarrassment. For others, it might stem from early reading challenges. Regardless of the origin, it's one perplexing phobia, and for its sheer irony and that convoluted name, we're placing it high on our tier list, settling comfortably at S. Because, let's face it, it's the quirkiest of quirks. Pogonophobia, the fear of beards. Ever felt a bit uneasy around Santa Claus? Throughout history, beards have been symbols of wisdom, strength, or even status. However, for some, beards are the stuff of nightmares. This phobia's origins are varied. Some trace it to traumatic experiences, while others might find beards dirty or germ-laden. In today's world, with beard trends constantly shifting and the occasional no-shave November, it's a challenging phobia to navigate. So where does this hairy situation land on our scale? We're granting poganophobia a spot at B, especially considering that bearded folk are pretty much everywhere. Palatophobia, the fear of bald people. Whether it's a clean-shaven Vin Diesel or the iconic bald look of Sir Patrick Stewart, some folks find bald heads deeply unsettling. Psychologists hypothesize that this phobia might be linked to the association of baldness with illness or aging. Plus, let's admit, popular media occasionally portrays bald characters as villains. Looking at you, Lex Luthor. Now, considering its specific nature and the challenges it might pose in day-to-day interactions, we're positioning palatophobia at an A on our list. After all, you never know when you might encounter a bald head shining in the sun. Papaphobia, the fear of the Pope. Yes, you heard that right. The leader of the Catholic Church, often seen as a symbol of peace, love, and spirituality, can instill genuine fear in some. It's a puzzling phobia with reasons ranging from religious trauma to an overwhelming fear of revered figures. Given the Pope's global influence and visibility, this phobia can have significant implications for those who suffer from it. And due to its sheer specificity and the profound respect many have for the Pope, we're reserving an S-tier spot for papaphobia. It's truly one of a kind. Omphalophobia, the fear of belly buttons. While belly buttons, or navels, are a natural part of human anatomy, marking the spot where we once connected to our mothers in the womb, for some, they are a source of genuine distress. Some omphalophobes can't bear to touch or have their own belly buttons touched, while others can't even stand the sight of anyone else's. The origins? It could be rooted in the navel's association with the umbilical cord and thus a connection to our birth, a vulnerable and primal moment. Or perhaps it's just the odd nature of having a little button on our bellies. In terms of pure oddness and how it challenges everyday activities like, say, going to the beach or wearing certain outfits, omphalophobia secures its spot at S tier. It's hard to get more specific than fearing a part of almost every human's anatomy. Arachibutyrophobia, the fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of the mouth. Now, peanut butter is a delightful treat for many, a perfect blend of sweet, salty, and creamy. Yet for those with this phobia, the mere sensation of it potentially sticking can be cause for alarm. But why? Some suggest it relates to the fear of choking or being unable to swallow. Others think it might tie into broader textural issues with food. And while many of us might chuckle at the thought, this phobia can truly hamper the enjoyment of many delicious snacks. Given its detailed specificity and the global popularity of peanut butter, we're awarding arachibutyrophobia an A-tier ranking. Sandwiches will never be the same. Anatidophobia, the fear of being watched by a duck. And now, for the piece de resistance, we present anatidophobia, the fear that somewhere, somehow, a duck is watching you. No, it's not a joke. Those who grapple with this phobia genuinely feel that a duck's gaze might be upon them, even if there's no duck in sight. It's not necessarily about being attacked by a duck, but just the persistent sensation of being observed by one. While the origins of this phobia remain a mystery, its sheer peculiarity cannot be overstated. I mean, the relentless vigilance of a duck. It's both baffling and oddly intriguing. Because of its unparalleled quirk factor and the vivid imagery it evokes, anatidophobia flies straight to our S tier. Watch out, they might just be quacking up about this somewhere. As you may notice from our list, it's a wild world out there, full of unexpected fears and fascinating psychology. If you've enjoyed this journey through the peculiar avenues of the human mind, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more intriguing content. Until next time, stay curious, and maybe keep an eye out for those ducks, especially those that are bald, have bears and long names, and lurk in new forests on the Pope's shoulder.